I just like incredible stuff. Wait, is this the guy? Is this the same fucking guy from yesterday? What the fuck is that shirt, man? Dude, when XQC started the stream like, dude, you are watching politics, kick W, kick W, kick W. What? Dude, I'm getting a lot of like strange new folks in here. It's very weird. Corey Bush, remember a black St. Louis police officer was shot by a white St. Louis City police officer 3 months before this incident. He was never charged. Yeah. St. Louis is just very. St. Louis is on a different playing field. Anyway, welcome to the broadcast, new friends. This is the Hasanabi broadcast. I talk about politics for the first couple of hours before I dive into role play. Just don't yell at them. Community members, don't yell at the new friends. All right, they don't know any better. It's not top of the hour yet. It has been an hour, but I haven't. I'll do it at 1. Okay, there's a scoop from Axios that says Representative Matt Gaetz has privately told confidants he's seriously considering not seeking re-election and possibly leaving Congress. Oh, thank God. Please do. Please do. Please, please, please do. Just good riddance. I mean, that would be fucking sick. Matt Gaetz privately told confidants he's seriously considering not seeking re-election and possibly leaving Congress early for a job at Newsmax. 3 sources with direct knowledge of the talks tell Axios. Representative Matt Gaetz is, of course, a probably the closest that we'll ever get to someone looking like they are literally the devil. Like, he just looks like he looks like he would be playing the devil personified in a straight-to-DVD release, right? It's like him and like Kenneth Copeland is like too demon looking. He actually looks like a human. You know what I mean? Kenneth Copeland looks too much like a demon, like an actual fucking demon. Whereas Matt Gaetz looks like he could be a demon in a movie. Like he could be the devil as a human being in a movie. Do you see what I'm saying? Let these new chatters know about your perspective on rehabilitation over incarceration. Yes, I believe in rehabilitation. Everyone should be offered a chance to rehabilitate and make amends. So anyway, I hope he leaves. It would be really stupid for him because he does have a significant future. He has a significant future in Republican politics. I would be very surprised if he just left for fucking Newsmax of all places. Kind of weird that he would go to Newsmax and not like Fox News, play with the big boys, but maybe he's floating that he would go to Newsmax so that Fox News will pick him up or something. I just don't know why. I just do not know why he would leave a wonderful career, a wonderful future he has within the Republican Party. You see what I'm saying? I legitimately do not know. He's fucking young. He's 38 years old. He is perfectly propped up. It's like him and Ron DeSantis are seen as like the Trump, like the real like Trump loyalists love Matt Gaetz and they love Ron DeSantis. It's not the future of the Republican Party is not in the hands of like the Josh Hawleys of the world or the Tom Cottons of the world or the fucking Dan Crenshaws of the world. These guys are the real future of the Republican Party. And what I mean by that is like, first of all, Dan Crenshaw is too much like Pete Buttigieg. Like he is way too much of a fucking centrist. which is crazy to say, I know. Like he's like way too well read, well traveled, to play the part of a hog appropriately, and he's also tried too hard to appease centrists with some of his rhetoric, which is why a lot of Trump fans hate him. Like they despise him. You know, he was advocating for red flag laws and things like that, so they hate him. He's more of a he just wants to be like Captain America personified. You know what I mean? It's not going to happen. These guys, these hogs don't like that shit. So that's not going to happen. Josh Hawley is way too fake. Like, if you're ever caught buying wine at Whole Foods, like, you're not going to turn around and be the fucking white working class guy. You're just not. It's not happening. And Josh Hawley is nice pecs and literally fucking buys wine at Whole Foods and shit and like expensive cheeses. No. Like, he wears it on his face. Like, he wears the elitism on his fucking face. Tom Cotton has the personality of literally a sheep or a goat. No, a goat has more personality than Tom Cotton. I'm going to say sheep. So he can't keep people preoccupied with the culture war stuff. So even though he does have a better background for that, except for like goats surf and shit. So like obviously not a goat. Like those guys, they don't fit the profile well. Like they're not organic chuds. Whereas Matt Gaetz, he does. Matt Gaetz is disgusting. He's a disgusting freak. And like something about him really triggers me. Like seeing him in action makes me so mad. And motherfuckers love that. Like Republicans love that shit. It's part of the reason why they even justify voting for Ted Cruz, right? So yeah, he is a uniquely loathsome person. Exactly. Ted Cruz is way too ugly to be president. Way too much a cuck to be president. So I think it's like you got Ron DeSantis, you got Gaetz, you got Tucker Carlson. Those are like the top contenders, in my opinion, if they were to actually seek the title. Gaetz will never, Gaetz probably can't be president though, because he has like an adopted 32-year-old son who is brown. So conservatives would probably rip him. Just came out 10 minutes ago. A man in Wyoming is charged with threatening to kill Rep. Matt Gaetz and other Republican officials. Oh, Jesus. Prosecutors say Christopher Podlesnik, 51, specifically threatened to kill Matt Gaetz. The threats occurred on January 28th, the same day Gaetz led a rally against Wyoming Representative Liz Cheney. Yo, the libs are going crazy, dude. Dude, I bet this is like 51 years old. I wonder if this is like one of those crazy liberals or like a crazy centrist. Like who the fuck would get triggered because of what he said about Liz Cheney? Anyway. Austin changed when he got the chain. Yeah. Do you think how a candidate actually looks like matters? Trump looked pretty fugly. A candidate actually, the way that they look like somewhat matters. Like Trump transcends looks, obviously. I mean, if you look like Ted Cruz, it does matter. If you look like if you look like this, it matters. You know what I mean? Like this dude his personality is dog shit too. At least Trump like is charismatic, you know? Anyway, low view count and baiting for a 1-day ban. Okay. All right, let's watch Lindsey Graham having a strange tantrum at the border to own the lib.
It is heartbreaking, but this is dumb. This is stupid.
What is your message to President Biden, sir?
Stop it. You don't know what you're talking about. It is heartbreaking.
Stop it. President Biden, stop it. You stop being president. You need to stop being president right now. Do it. Stop it. So this is going on. This is, remember, the very same people that fucking made fun of AOC for crying at the detention centers are now, doing this. Does anyone have the video of like this entire thing? Like, is there like a good supercut of, a supercut of like, conservatives fucking, crying at the border because, little children are able to come to America after spending a year at the border in limbo, in immigration limbo? Yeah, we're gonna look at that. Many members of the media appear convinced that Biden rolled back Trump's immigration policy and created a border crisis. Guys, I've been saying this. 34th message until Hasanabi opens this link. Dude, the Muhammad Anwar Uber Eats driver story is a horrible one, okay? It's a horrific story. But when you keep spamming it while I'm in the middle of like covering other stories, you look like a fucking dumbass. Like I see it. It's already here. I have it open on the other screen. But like, stop trying to fucking be like, no, you know what? I don't want you to cover whatever you're fucking covering. I don't give a shit that you have an outline for what you want to do. I don't give a fuck. You are going to cover the teen girls charged with carjacking and murdering the fucking the Muslim Uber driver, the Muslim Uber Eats driver. That's what I want you to do. I need you to do that right now. Stop, please.
This is a route that people take to come to turn themselves in. This path is marked so that people will know where to go to find a detention facility. They're not trying to avoid detection. They're trying to get caught. There's a loop.
I don't understand. Is that better? Is it better if they are trying to avoid detection? They're literally trying to get caught. Yes. As in, like, they are trying to go through the proper procedures to be able to apply for asylum. That is what they're doing.
Loophole in our law that incentivizes people to bring 6-year-old children with them, because Biden administration has changed the law so if you got a 6-year-old, you can't be deported. They're all processed, put on a bus, and 8 hours after being apprehended, they're released in the United States. And it's a humanitarian tragedy, but it's literally insane policy. We've got a trail here where the U.S. government is marking it for illegal immigrants. And I don't blame the Border Patrol agents. I blame the federal government for creating this mess.
Hi, I'm Senator Mike Lee. I'm here at the U.S.-Mexico border just outside of Mission and McAllen, Texas. We've got many hundreds of people who have arrived here just in the last few hours. I've been talking to several of them. Most of them are from Guatemala or Honduras here tonight. We've spoken to a number of women who have been carrying their children, some of them infants the entire way. Several of them have told me that they've been traveling for about 2 months, having been brought up by the smugglers and the cartels. In many instances, they've walked for days and days at a time, sometimes carrying their children. All of this is a very preventable crisis. It's a crisis brought about as a result of the deliberate, willful non-enforcement of U.S. law.
Yeah, instead, just murdering them would be the way to fix it, right? Like, because that's the argument. Ultimately, like, just shoot them is the argument that conservatives will inevitably arrive at. Like, because the conservative point of view is literally, and I'm sorry, if you're a conservative and you're in here, it's the reality, okay? That is literally what they're saying. What they're saying is, we need to make it so that the conditions are so fucking cruel for people that are literally escaping the cruelty in their home to think twice about coming to the United States of America. That's straight up the fucking conversation that we're having. The deterrence measures of separating kids from their fucking parents and locking them in goddamn cages in detention facilities was this exact same argument, which is we need to increase the brutality dial by like a fuckload so that people think twice before coming into this country. That's it. That is the fucking argument that conservatives are making in this situation. Democrats, on the other hand, liberals, on the other hand, are making the argument that we do need to increase the brutality dial, but by like fucking 3 notches and not the 10 notches. The real conversation should be around whether or not there should be any brutality at all and what the legitimate problems that are causing so many economic migrants to come here are and solve those problems. Okay, if you want a long-term, comprehensive, full-blown solution to immigration, if you consider it to be a problem, it is not at the moment, but it could be in the future as a consequence of climate change and the further destabilization in the region, then you need to actually solve the problems in these nations of origin where immigrants are coming from. These people are seeking asylum as economic migrants, or they're seeking asylum as a consequence of the violence they've been subjected to at home. Okay? That's it. There's only 2 ways. I have to repeat myself all the time. There's only 2 ways that you can solve, you can resolve this conflict. Okay? So you solve this problem. You either, 1, increase the fucking brutality so that the conditions that you subject these people that you catch over here in the United States are comparable to the conditions back home. And that means like literally murdering people. Or 2, fix the problems. Allow these people ease of access. Allow these people passage. Document these undocumented migrants. Okay? Allow them to participate in the American labor force. And then scale back on the imperialism dial a little bit. That's a good first step towards solving these issues. And then start helping fix the infrastructure in these countries where people are coming from. But how can the biggest argument for conservatives worldwide be just help them in their own home country? I mean, in Europe, there is an influx of refugees coming in from places like Syria. Why are there so many fucking refugees coming from Syria? Think about it. War, motherfucker. That's why. Like, what do you mean? That's it. It's a very simple answer. Every single country in the southern part of the globe, or specifically in South America, has been devastated at some point by American imperialism, okay, or Western interference. That's the reason why they are destabilized. That's the reason why they have yet to recover. And the recovery efforts revolve around getting loans, conditional loans from the IMF, which then further exploit the countries. You are not giving these people an out. You're fucking them over further and further. And then you're doing the surprise Pikachu face when people try to escape those conditions and find a better future for themselves and their children by coming to the United States. Anyway, we're going to continue with this video, but before we do that, I got to run my first ad of the day, top of the hour, every hour, where we do a 60-second ad break, ladies and gentlemen. If you no longer want to see the ads, you can subscribe. You can do it for $5, or you can do it for free with a Twitch Prime. By connecting your Amazon Prime account to your Twitch account, you get 1 free Prime subscription. You can use it on me. Hopefully, if I'm your favorite streamer or someone else. Here you go.
The exploitation of women and children.
Did you just blame any significant portion of the problems in South America to a specific nation of the United States? Yes. The United States has the responsibility, in my opinion, to help out their neighbors. But instead, beyond helping out their neighbors, the United States has always involved itself in the affairs of other nations in a negative capacity.
This is a tragedy and it's got to stop.
Sir, so what's going on here?
Well, we're out here on one of the paths where coyotes bring migrants across the border to a processing station over here, and we actually just saw coyotes across the river. In fact, we could hear them talking, see the lights, and the Rio Grande's right here. It's about midnight. We're out here with the Border Patrol agents. First, we really appreciate what the Border Patrol agents are trying to do, but this is a humanitarian crisis. We need to figure out how to address this, and we need to do it now. And the Biden administration needs to work with us to make sure that we enforce our laws. It is about treating people humanely, but it is about enforcing our laws. And the changes they've made are what's leading to this crisis. We were just coming down the road.
Coyotes are smugglers, for those of you who don't know still at this point. They're talking about people who help migrants cross the border.
And we saw a group of migrants coming across, and they're going up, and they're actually housed on and processed under a bridge. And that's not how we do things in America. And so we're down here to bring attention to this, but to, get changes made to what's being done now so that people are treated humanely and well, and that we get this border crisis under control.
You caused it. Why should they work with you? I guess you're talking about the Republicans. Here's the argument, by the way. Law, like conservatives always say, well, they broke the law. Okay, well, laws can be changed, so make it legal then. I mean, Trump literally made it more illegal to cross the border, right? It was a misdemeanor, and now it's a felony. Make it literally not even a misdemeanor. Boom. There you go. But they don't want to do that. They don't want to do that either. They are trying to justify. The brutality that they want to subject these people to by just saying that it's illegal, and therefore they have caused harm, when the argument should revolve around, and is kind of revolving around, making this not illegal. You can't say, well, it's illegal, so it's a crime, and that's why it's bad, while you're having a fucking debate over whether it should be illegal or not. You have to explain why it's bad. And if the explanation for why it's bad is simply, oh, because these kids are going through such horrific conditions, like we're subjecting them to horrific conditions, then okay, then make it legal and help with the transition process. Oh, these kids are being subjected to such horrible conditions, which is why we need to fucking do worse things to them to deter other kids from coming in the future, is psychopathic. Oh, I want to save someone from being tortured, so I'm going to torture them myself so that they understand that torture is bad, is insane. It's not an argument you could ever make, but that's one that Republicans routinely make. And this exact same problem exists within, and this is closely tied to what we are talking about. This very same problem exists within drugs as well. The legalization of drugs. Part of the reason why these cartels have such tremendous power in Latin American countries, beyond the political destabilization that we have caused, is because we have a robust market. We have a robust market that wants to purchase, a robust black market that wants to purchase drugs. We literally give them weapons in exchange for those drugs. It is a never-ending cycle of violence and diseases of despair. Americans have black market drugs pumped into neighborhoods by cartels, and and gun manufacturers end up selling a boatload of guns to these cartels, which of course was originally engineered and pioneered by the Alphabet agency of CIA, because we had to do regime change in some countries. You know what I'm saying? Something that I talk about regularly. And then, of course, that interference ends up creating a power vacuum, or literally a coup d'etat, in which those violent dudes who are fascists will take over an entire country and run it to the fucking ground. Quit blaming immigrants. Are you telling me I'm blaming immigrants? Anyway. Yeah, the slaves were actually wrong for escaping the plantations because it was against the law. Yeah. Wouldn't it be better to help immigrants by making their own country better? Yeah. One pathway to making these other nations of origin better is literally relatively low restriction immigration to the United States. At least according to pretty much every fucking economist, for the record. Anyway. But let's talk about this. Many members of the media appear convinced that Biden rolled back Trump's immigration policy and created a border crisis. But Biden has left the most salient Trump border policy in place, and the surge of migrants started in April, not February. On the left is a chart tracking articles that mention border crisis in major publications. The spike starts at 321. On the right is the number of apprehensions at the border. The coverage of the crisis is untethered to reality. Here are the articles over time that fucking exploded on the border crisis. Here are the apprehensions at the U.S.-Mexico border, according to the American Immigration Council. This is data compiled from the Customs and Border Patrol office. So this is literally their own data, right? Trump is taking office. Border apprehensions fucking skyrocket. They peak. The Title 42 expulsions begin. Once Title 42 expulsions begin, it's the single adult apprehensions and also the family unit and child apprehensions peak once again and continue peaking as Biden is taking office. This is why everyone says this is some silly bitch shit to. This is why I've been saying that this is some silly bitch shit to act like the border crisis is happening right now. They're spiking after only 2 months of him in office. Brother, this is where he's in office. This is where he took office. It's been spiking. What are you saying? How do you what do you want? This is where he became president, dude. I don't know how you look at this and you still go, oh, it's been spiking. Dude. It's literally just look at line go up. It's the simplest thing you can do. He isn't doing anything about it, though. That's also a fucking falsehood, okay? You're wrong. Like, he isn't doing anything about it is already wrong. But not only are you wrong, but you also tried to move the goalpost now. You've literally moved the goalpost. You're still wrong, but you've also lost the argument. What do you think Biden's doing well about the border? I don't think he's doing well about the border at all. I don't even like his policies on immigration. I think they're too draconian. The spike in apprehensions that begins in April 2020 tracks when the Trump administration began immediately deporting everyone for public health reasons. Trump claims he had authority under Section 42 of the U.S. Code. One reason why immediately deporting everyone under Title 42 caused a spike in apprehensions is that people started trying to cross the border again and again, sometimes within hours. The practice is legally dubious, but it's been continued under Biden. But, as you'll know from the chart, the current spike driven by Section 42 is still lower than what we saw in 2019 when all of Trump's harshest policies were in place. Okay? So we still haven't even reached the 2019 state yet. There were still more border crossings happening in Trump's under the Trump administration. There is a record surge in unaccompanied minors. However, Trump had to stop immediately deporting them in 11/20 due to a court order. When the order was lifted, Biden did not resume immediate deportations, and these kids are being held in inhumane conditions, as we all know. The treatment of these kids is dreadful, and the U.S. is fully capable of treating them much better. But this has been a problem across administrations. No one wants to spend money to improve their treatment because they are worried about optics. You know, you're spending more money on, brown kids than you do on American children is the immediate counter that Republicans routinely fucking put forward. You're going to put these kids in hotels? Oh, that's nice. Well, what about our homeless people? It's like, well, okay, let's put the homeless people in hotels. No, that's communism. Doesn't matter. It's pretty much an unwinnable argument in that respect. So you just tell them to shut the fuck up and do what you must. That's what you're supposed to do. Like, Hassan, where was the trigger warning? Man, shut the fuck up. Where was the trigger warning? Suck my cock is the trigger warning, okay? Suck my entire cock. You come in during fucking politics hour and you go, where's the trigger warning? Are you fucking stupid? Dumbass. Oh, he's talking about Ted Cruz. Oh, I'm sorry. You were making a joke. I shouldn't have blown up like you. Oh, fuck. I should have made a trigger warning. Ted Cruz's face. Trigger warning. Trigger warning. Ted Cruz's face. Sorry. That was a good joke. Biden says he's going to improve conditions for kids by creating new facilities to house them. That could help. More facts and accountability journalism. Sign up for the newsletter. Didn't this happen last time? Yeah. We're not going to watch the entire conference they had there. That's insane. So there are probably Buddha alternate accounts getting payback for the LeBron debate yesterday. No. The compiled data is ICE doing something about it and shows an increase in apprehensions. As far as I know, there isn't any reliable data on actual numbers of the border and whether the number of apprehensions is tracking the current number of migrants. It's manufactured crisis created by when ICE didn't comply with Biden's non-enforcement EO. Yeah. Okay. I retweeted your tone indicators tweet as a fellow millennial. I found them very useful too. At the possibility of the common trial resulting in third-degree murder charge rather than first or second. What are your thoughts on the possible repercussions of that? I don't know. Okay. Wouldn't they cause an economic boom if we let them in? It's always good. Like, immigration is always good. It's significantly better than not controlling it or trying to control it by trying to stop it. Wait, where's the fucking Marjorie Taylor Greene link? I can't find it. Mercedes Schlapp
You know what?
gets called a grifter on Fox News. What?
You That is very irresponsible. People need to get vaccinated, and it's the private, hold on, it is the private sector that wants to make sure that people coming into their venues are vaccinated so that their patrons can be safe from.
It's pretty funny when, oh yeah, here's the mark of the beast shit. It's pretty funny because, like, on Fox News, the greatest defense that you could ever launch, right? The greatest defense you could ever launch against, on Fox News, the greatest defense you could ever launch against another commentator that's, like, from the right is by saying, motherfucker, it's the private sector that wants vaccinations. Like, who are you to talk against that? You know what I mean? It's like, shut up. Like, vaccines are good for the private sector. Like, idiot, shut the fuck up. Stop your fucking dumb populism here. Like, your populism ends at a certain point. You know what I mean?
COVID-19. It is time for conservatives in this country to acknowledge.
Or this vaccine passport should just hella cringe, though. Can't believe people can even defend this literal tool of genocide. Really? You think the vaccination passport is cringe? Well, okay. I guess we disagree then. You're out of your fucking mind. Oh, he's kidding. Okay. Literal tool of genocide. Yeah, I can't believe most, like, European Union most European Union countries are doing genocide with vaccine passports.
We have a crisis and start joining the fight to end it and stop spreading lies.
My favorite thing has always been that, like, conservatives literally side with COVID. In a ongoing battle between COVID and humanity, conservatives are like, nah, we're going to side with COVID on this one. We are going to literally, we are going to help COVID out as best as possible.
And start joining the fight to end it and stop spreading lies about what's going on in this country. It is devastating, this country, and blood is on the hand of the former guy and others who support him.
You're not going to call Tucker Carlson a conspiracy theorist. That is wrong. This is what the Democrats do. They keep calling us names. We're not going to put up with this. I stand for freedom. I stand for the freedom of the American people every single day.
You're a grifter. This is ridiculous.
Let's not do name calling, guys. Okay, let's keep it simple.
But I'm not.
Come on, let's keep it simple. Let's see both sides of the conversation. You know, both sides of the equation, guys. Come on. You know, one side says vaccinations are making you gay and autistic, and the other side is saying that it doesn't, and you should take it because, you know, this is the only way out of a fucking pandemic that has already killed 500,000 people. So can we be civil about the gay autism vaccine side of this conversation, please, without referencing them as grifters? It's kind of weird.
I'm not.
Yeah. Come on, let's hear COVID's side on this. I mean, there's both sides to every conversation. Let's hear from COVID. Representing COVID here is the American Conservative Union's very own Mercedes Schlapp.
I'm not going to allow Chris, he does this all the time, to call Tucker Carlson a liar.
Yeah, we don't do name calling.
Theorist. Okay, we have every right to make this decision for our family,
damaging the effort to get this.
Nothing wrong with the freedom to choose whether you want to get vaccinated or not is something that I saw in the chat and I can't find it anymore. Okay, first of all, unfortunately, in the United States, it's not mandatory. It should be. I wish it was, okay? Unless you have, like, a serious medical condition that prevents you from getting it, okay? And two, like, this is literally advocacy for getting the vaccine. They're not saying, we're going to fucking kill you if you don't get a vaccine. The guy is simply saying, this is the scientific evidence that we have. This is what we need to get over the fucking vaccine. Here are the defenders of it. And the other side is like, nah, I don't know. I think it's okay to be skeptical, furthering the skepticism that people have over the vaccine. Okay? It's not fucking freedom when it, as it pertains to epidemiology. Your freedom is limited. Okay? You don't have unlimited freedom. Your freedom is limited by my boundaries. Okay? When you start infringing on my liberties and my interest in continuing to live, well, that's where your fucking freedom ends. That's how it works in a civilized society, right? An epidemic or a pandemic is a perfect example of this. your freedom to whether or not your freedom to like not take the fucking vaccine or take the vaccine literally ends when you're coughing on motherfuckers and killing them. Okay? Sorry. Which, by the way, there is a libertarian argument to make here as well, by the way, which is that you are violating the non-aggression principle by refusing to get vaccinated. I know that libertarians will not ever admit to this because a lot of libertarians are just straight up fucking freaks that watch Joe Rogan and are vaccine skeptics or whatever. But the libertarian argument here is that not taking the vaccine truly violates the non-aggression principle because you are furthering a pandemic. You are further spreading a disease and therefore hurting others, harming others. Without their consent, of course.
This under control.
We are a country that has.
No, that isn't the way that non-aggression principle works. Not direct intentional harm. This social ecology. Explain to me how you not taking the vaccine and literally going around and fucking furthering a pandemic is not a violation of that. I didn't know that there was a cheat code within the non-aggression principle that like, oh, if you didn't mean to, then it's fine. Yeah, no, use that as an argument when you get a DUI and fucking kill someone in a car. Oh, I didn't mean to. Oh, sorry. It's not just direct aggression, idiot. Fucking libertarians, dude. Liberal take. Liberal take, he says. I mean, libertarians are libs. So. Go ahead. Go ahead, libertarian. The libertarians would be all for climate justice as pollution is indirect harm. Are you fucking stupid? We're already talking about why libertarians don't have their own fucking convictions and are just a meme for the most part. A lot of American libertarians are just libertarians, okay? They're just fucking nuts. Not a single one of them is advocating for child slavery, which is really unacceptable. If you are a libertarian, you need to say with your chest. You need to be like, nope. You should. A parent should be able to sell their baby in the marketplace of babies. This will be maximum utility, maximum efficiency, and maximum child rearing, for maximum child rearing purposes. Okay. Okay, second trigger warning, Marjorie Taylor Greene. That would violate the non-aggression principle? Yeah, really? Oh, interesting. Yeah, I'm sure no famous libertarian thinker has ever contemplated and endlessly argued about how baby marketplaces would actually make it more effective, like make child care more efficient. I'm sure that's not an actual take. You probably know more about libertarianism than I do, so I just look it up. I don't know. Just look it up, dude. Maybe I'm totally making this up. Okay.
COVID They want you to be required to have something called a COVID passport, and this would mandate your ability to be able to travel, your ability to be able to go to events, your ability to be able to buy and sell. And I asked the question earlier today, is this something like Biden's mark of the beast? Because that is really
Biden's mark of the beast is real, brother. 666. Biden is 666 years old.
disturbing and not good. Oh, if you're going to come into the football game or the baseball game or the concert, you need your vaccine passport because we're trying to do a good job to keep everyone safe. This is what the Biden administration is trying to talk to these private companies into doing. Well, let's analyze that. You see, it's still the same thing. It's still fascism or communism, whatever you want to call it. But it's coming from private companies. So I have a term for that. I call it corporate communism. They want
Okay, really good, really good, really good, really good, really good. I call it corporate communism. Yeah, communism is when, corporations take over and do what they want with their employees. Wait a minute, that sounds a lot like what's going on right now. I'm convinced not a single conservative actually knows what communism is. No, it's better that they don't. Jeff Bezos is a corporate communist. Communism is when you do bad things, when you hurt my feelings, okay? New ideology just dropped. It's called corporate communism. Communism is when corporations do things and they're brutal. No, communism is like cancel culture. It's like literally everything bad, okay? That's it. How can we get out of the red scare? This is hurting my brain. It's just nothing. It's just, there's no way. This is it. We are in the well, folks. There is no way to get out of it. You are in Watch Mojo. Timestamp link.
No.
What is this? Top 10 times video game streamers got what they deserved. What the fuck? That's a really aggressive thing. What an aggressive title. I wonder what is going to happen here. Top 5, Hasanabi. Interesting. Got what they deserved. Wait, it says you're a video game streamer? I am a video game streamer. Okay, Watch Mojo. Fucking chill. Jesus Christ. Aggro as fuck. All right, Chuck Schumer is eyeing at a second shot at raising the minimum wage through reconciliation. I don't know what the fuck's going on with Chuck Schumer lately, but goddamn, it makes me horny. Democrats capitulated to a ruling by a Senate staffer at body's parliamentarian the first time around. As you guys remember, I talked about this. Your aunt got cancer. Those damn commies are at it again. Oh, yeah, exactly. Next up, top 5 streamers get what's coming to them. Yeah. Watch Mojo list is just like they read like a fucking, they read like a threat now. Fucking freaks, dude. Okay. Memology 101 made a salty video on you. Dude, I don't care. Why do you guys watch these fucking losers, bro? I don't understand. Police say they found Mafia fugitive on YouTube posting cooking tutorials. Okay. Okay. Top 5 streamers we've doxed. Okay. Chuck Schumer is considering putting a $15 minimum wage into the next reconciliation package, which will be focused on infrastructure. Multiple sources familiar with the New York Senator's thinking told The Intercept. Rayleigh Harris, thank you for the 10 gifted subs. Senate Democrats attempted to include the wage hike in President Joe Biden's COVID-19 relief package, as you know, and it was tossed aside, which was fucking bullshit. By the administration, by the way. The administration could have done more. They didn't do it. It was fucking bullshit. It was very, it made me very upset. If Chuck Schumer is willing to reconsider this and add it into the infrastructure bill, I think that it is a very solid way to do so. The infrastructure bill could potentially get Republican votes even, which is probably not going to happen anymore, especially if you put the $15 minimum wage into it. But also, infrastructure bill is something that no, Kristen Sinema is not going to nuke it again. I don't think. I mean, unless they need to apply pressure. There's other senators that did not actually get a lot of coverage beyond Sinema and Manchin that are probably going to be scarier than someone like Kristen Sinema. But Schumer has suggested progressive groups as there's a glimmer of hope in the parliamentarian rule differently this time. The new legislation is focused on infrastructure and setting wages directly related to the budget impact on any infrastructure spending. It would have been fine the first time around as well, but whatever. Schumer, though, is encountering resistance from some backers of the increased minimum wage who argue that attempting to include it is doomed to fail just as it did last time. So internal congressional critics of Schumer argue that the link between policy and whether it clears reconciliation is irrelevant. After all, Republicans included drilling in the Arctic in Trump's tax cut legislation, two policies that had nothing to do with each other, and that the parliamentarian is likely to rule the same way again. It doesn't matter. Fucking eliminate the parliamentarian, okay? Delete her and fucking hire a new one. What the fuck is wrong with you? You can literally do that, okay? Fire her and rehire someone, or just vote against her forehead. Get Kamala Harris to fucking overrule it. What the fuck is wrong with you? There are many different things you can do. How is Schumer going to pressure Manchin, who isn't up for re-election until 2024 and may retire in a deep red state? So the problem with Joe Manchin is that this is like evil villain shit. Okay, like what you're basically stating in that regard is straight up like, oh no, he's just going to go against the wishes of people of West Virginia because he might not even fucking get reelected. He might not even want to get reelected. That is a psychotic argument to make. Okay. Joe Manchin is supposed to do what his fucking constituencies want to do. Okay, you have to stress that over and over again. It's ridiculous. Oh, well, sorry. Nothing you can do because Joe Manchin is just going to sit there and play the spoiler. Okay. What fucking argument is this? Like, what is this argument? So I guess we should just never try. And then those very same people then turn around and literally say, well, it's good that Joe Manchin is still there though, because they can fucking vote. Joe Manchin will be an important vote in certain votes. Like there'll be a key vote. Like what do you mean? This is a fucking key vote. This is a key vote. It's literally what West Virginians want. And I went to neoliberal subreddits to see how motherfuckers were advocating. I went to neoliberal subreddits to see like how people were defending Joe Manchin. And first of all, the most idiotic take was, oh, well, Joe Manchin's people do not want $15 minimum wage. False. West Virginia overwhelmingly wants a $15 minimum wage. They're on board with it. That is a falsehood. So you're just lying to one another to fucking inhale that copium. So that's wrong. So you're wrong. Why are you rushing to defend someone with false information? Also, congratulations. You just owned yourself. You recognize that, people want that. Like you recognize that Joe Manchin is doing something that would be against the interest of the people would be wrong, and which is why you're lying about whether or not the people of West Virginia want $15 minimum wage. So that's one. Two, I've even seen motherfuckers go to the extent of saying, well, what if the people of West Virginia don't want a $15 minimum wage for the people in Alabama? And that's why Joe Manchin is saying he doesn't want a $15 minimum wage. That's not how it works. So you can't do that. Thank you, Mom. Psychotic. This thing pops up So aggressively scary. Okay. Same with cinema. Mark Kelly was a advocate for the $15 minimum wage increase in Arizona. And Mark Kelly won by better numbers than Kristen Sinema did against Kristen Sinema's same opponent. That's one. Two, Mark Kelly's approval rating is significantly higher than Kristen Sinema. Sinema is currently in the aftermath of this, shenanigan around not increasing the minimum wage to $15 an hour. Her fucking polling dipped further, and she was at, I believe, like minus 11 points. So, completely psychotic for anyone to say that the people of Arizona do not want a $15 minimum wage increase when they themselves recently added an additional tax to the top marginal tax rate so they could fund their education system. Again, the $15 minimum wage increase passed overwhelmingly in a red state like Florida, and it was more popular than Donald Trump and also more popular than Joe Biden. So this notion that the $15 minimum wage is not popular in any of these fucking states is bullshit. Okay, it is a popular policy. Anyway, Florida has more metro areas though. It doesn't matter, bro. It doesn't fucking matter. It's still a red state. Also, it's passed in red states, so shut the fuck up. It's still popular in West Virginia. So what is the argument? Okay. Just say that you don't understand the process and you're just going to fucking relentlessly defend the Democratic Party despite the fact that the Democratic Party does not pay you to defend it, and move on. Okay? Because that is the reality. What you are doing here is defending the Democratic Party without pay stubs, motherfucker. That's all you're doing. You are literally defending the Democratic Party and you're not even getting paid for the privilege. All right? You're not a consultant, so shut the fuck up. And you're doing it by lying, and you are the type of person who gets mad when Fox News commentators do this shit, so why are you doing it for the Democratic Party? Still ignoring my point? I wasn't saying it was right. Manchin is driven by corporate donors and lobbyists. I never said he was properly representing his constituents. Make him suffer, dude. Nobody wants to be fucking vilified. Joe Manchin doesn't either. It doesn't matter. Make him fucking suffer. Protest outside of his goddamn house. Go to fucking set up town halls. Demand it. Use grassroots mobilization. I'm not ignoring your point. It does not matter. We never take it to that length ever. And we're certainly not going to take it to that length if the administration is not going to put a magnifying glass on the actions of Joe Manchin. I'm not ignoring your point. I already answered your fucking point. I'm not saying yell on Twitter either. The president and the bully pulpit has a fuckload of power. If we recognize that Trump's actions from the bully pulpit had a significant impact on white supremacist activity increasing in the country, then you have to also recognize that Joe Biden literally saying something along the lines of, well, Joe Manchin, what you're doing, Jack, is kind of fucked up. People in West Virginia want this, Jack. Boom. All of a sudden, you have applied so much pressure to a person from the bully pulpit that you can actually get them to move. But instead, you literally turn around and rush to fucking cover Joe Manchin and Kristen Sinema by claiming, oh, the Senate parliamentarian is not going to vote for it. Sorry. Liberals recognize the bully pulpit's sufficiency when it's a Republican president, but can't admit that it's still equally as important when there is a Democratic administration.